of our tires since we went super late in round B. Yeah, I mean, it's certainly this is one of the best facilities we've got. Certainly a great arena. So I was never really a fan of the dirt. So I think it's good.
Was there a place for dirt in Cup, or is that was a nice experiment, move on, forget about it?
I don't know. It's the fans really didn't seem that interested in it anymore, and so they always are for the first couple, and then it just kind of goes away. So I'm not sure. We'll run wherever they want to run.
Is that an idea or things to think about as NASCAR looks at future schedules? Go ahead and do something once and then get in and get out and don't do it again.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to weigh the business model of it, right? It's, building out wherever they might be, like a Chicago track or putting dirt on here. There's a cost to all that. Cleaning up this place after, the dust and the dirt probably costs a little bit. So certainly like to see them just go to, normal standard venues that maybe we haven't gone to before, or a place that we could possibly upgrade.
How do you think the tire test will help you from Texas?
I think it'll be beneficial, certainly because the tire got changed there. We actually never ran the tire that they were going to run. We ran a bunch of tires, and we thought we were testing on the tire we were going to run, but they're going to come back with something a little bit different. But we still got a pretty good feel for where we're at, and think we're going to be pretty good.
If Martin doesn't make the next round, is that a flaw in the system, or is it okay if the regular season champ doesn't advance?
I mean, it has to be okay because it's they created the system. So I mean, it's certainly we talked about this for years. It's you can have 9 wins, 10 wins. It just doesn't matter in the regular season if you don't win in the playoffs or you don't have a strong 3 races. That's they've shrunk the sample size so much that it's really hard to get a real feel for who can win it all because you've got so many variables in such a small sample size.
If a team as strong as the 19s doesn't advance, how does that change the championship picture?
Certainly we see them as a tough competitor, someone that can not only make it to the Final Four, but certainly win at Phoenix. It would change the landscape of the playoffs for sure.
As a team that has only 100 starts on your belt, 2311's had a lot of success so far. What do you think the key to that is?
Yeah, I think working closely with JGR and continuing to work on the drivers and how they can continue to get better, I think has been some of the keys. That and fast cars. I mean, that all comes together, and then certainly we've been working really hard on the pit crews for the last couple of years. This is the first year with our own pit crews. They turned the page, knock on wood, over the last 4 to 5 weeks. So they're kind of peaking at the right time along with the drivers. So that's why we're getting the results.
Bubba starting 9th. I know you said anything past the first round is kind of a bonus. Mm-hmm. Have you talked to him at all this week about specifically what he needs to do tonight, mindset-wise, mentally?
No, I try not to get too much into their business on that side. We've got all the personnel in place to kind of lay out the landscape of what they need to do, and I think they do a really good job of it to lay out, what expectations are, what do we need to do to get past this round, that round. So the drivers all know that, and that comes from information that they get from me and other people that have been in the industry for a while. So I think they've got all the experience they need. They just had some tough luck last week.
What are your expectations for the next round?
I expect to lead every lap and win every race like we've done so far in the playoffs, except for winning the race. I mean, we've just been super strong, and I expect to be the best car every time.
Do you think they need to put more? Do you think they'll need to put more traction PJ1 down after tonight's race, or do you need to see the race?
Yeah, it'll wear out quite a bit. Probably a little bit. Yeah, I'd probably lean towards yes over no, simply because these cars are so tough in traffic. That's the nicest word I can say. Like, I was catching a car half a second slower and just could not pass them today. But once you get that going on the top, it really can be tough and not be the best race. So I think you're going to have multiple lanes, and you want to level it out a little bit, bottom to top. So I'm fine with whatever they choose. I think historically we've seen some pretty good races here. So, and they've sprayed it sometimes, and sometimes they haven't. So we're up for whatever challenge they got.
How much do you feel that you and Justin Marks have impacted the sport and just the way you view things? I mean, being, again, I know two different situations, but two now relatively newer owners, and look, I know you still compare, still racing against the Hendrick, Penske's, and so forth, but just how you feel like you and Justin have shook things up or impacted things in the sport, or looked at things in a different way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that even though we may look similar on the outside, I think we still do things a little differently. Justin is got a great creative mind, and the way he builds his team and finds sponsors and things like that is really innovative for sure. For us, it's we had an opportunity to build our team from scratch, and so we didn't have to have all the extra fat infrastructure that we other teams have, and then how we run our teams as well, like just how we organize our people, how we get the most out of each person that we have has been really cool. And then like I'm looking at the Jordan brand car and I'm so jealous of Tyler getting to run it, and I'm telling him, don't screw up the suit. I'm taking the suit home after the race. Like, it's really cool to see some of the crossovers that 2311's done, and it looks like McDonald's gonna have a Grimace car, which is just badass. It's really fun, and I'm jealous of the how creative that team's getting, and it's a lot of that work is being done by the hires that we've got in the front office.
All 4 JGR cars wound up in the top 10 here in qualifying. Where do you feel like that speed's coming from, and do you feel like that will translate to race speed?
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak to the other cars, but I feel confident in ours. We always race better when we qualify. The last couple weeks especially, we haven't set on any poles, but we've dominated the races, and I felt in practice my car was where it needed to be. But yeah, the JGR cars have been fast really all year. Some things have taken us out.